Hi, I'm Sam Peterson from Mill Creek Township, and today's guests are from the Second Harvest Food Bank of Northwest Pennsylvania. Please welcome Natalie Massing, Strategic Gifts Coordinator, and Celeste Makay, Advocacy Coordinator.
Thanks for having us on today.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much.
So I think we can start with just a little bit of an overview, just for any of our viewers that are unfamiliar, just what you guys do at the Second Harvest Food Bank, and what your mission is there.
Sure. Our mission is to provide food to those in the 11 counties we serve who are food insecure. Not only that, Sam, but to create awareness and educate people on the realities of hunger. Mm-hmm. So, we have many programs that help those people. Right now, our latest Map the Meal Gap, we're looking at over 95,000 individuals who are food insecure in these 11 counties. Mm-hmm. So how about Erie County? I know, Celeste, that you have some numbers in regards to that.
Sure, yeah, in Erie County alone, we have 38,000 of our residents, our neighbors, and I know that that's a little hard to imagine what that means, but you can think of it as 1 in every 7 people in Erie County are facing food insecurity. And of course that looks different on a case-by-case basis, what hunger actually means for those individuals, but that makes up about 14% of the population in Erie County.
So food insecurity is, you would say, is as big of a problem as hunger. How would you define the two?
Sure. So hunger is something that we feel every day. Every individual can feel hunger. It's something that you feel when you wake up in the morning, and it is what drives you to eat. But food insecurity has more factors involved with that. It takes into account for the period of time that you feel hunger. So food insecurity, by definition of the USDA, the United States Department of Agriculture, is a person is food insecure if they do not have reliable access to enough food to live a healthy and active lifestyle. So that can impact an individual, but it can also impact a household, a family, and communities as large as the United States and the country.
So what are some of the factors that kind of drive that food insecurity?
Great question.
Maybe specific to Erie, because I know that's pretty broad.
Yes, so we have a lot of what we call food deserts, more appropriately a food apartheid. And that is, a lot of folks do not have a grocery store close enough to them that they can have reliable access to food. And unfortunately, a lot of the individuals that face food insecurity are in rural communities. So if you are miles and miles away from a grocery store and your car breaks down because of factors that were out of your own control, that's an instance of food insecurity, that you do not have access to a grocery store to make sure that you can get food for yourself or your family.
So where in Erie County do you see the largest kind of food deserts, or the most problematic ones, the ones affecting the most people?
Sure, so I can't speak specifically on where the food deserts are located, though I can say that our downtown Erie area does not have a grocery store, and it is a concern that the community has had for a very long time. There's a lot of reasons that a grocery store has not been able to succeed in the downtown area, but we have a large population of new Americans and families that are being positioned downtown in areas that the current food options are not accessible due to cost. That is the biggest barrier for those who are living downtown. Because yes, a lot of food options are within walking distance, but they are not affordable.
Gotcha.
Well, and that's why we have 376 different pantries, emergency pantries and such within the 11 counties. So there should be, and normally is, a pantry close enough to you in order for them to go to the pantry and get what they need. And you can find your pantry right on our website, NWPAfoodbank.org, where you can put in your address and it'll show the immediate pantries, their hours that they are open, the days that they are open, so they can go there to get food.
So then what are some of those programs that you guys offer at the Second Harvest Food Bank?
That's quite a few. We'll start with the littles. We have our backpack program for children that goes on during the school year. Every Friday, food is put discreetly into a backpack of a student that is either getting low-cost breakfast and lunch or getting those options for free. Right now, we give out over 3,100 backpacks per month. We are in 20 different school districts, and we also have 13 school pantries right now. So that's for our students. And then, of course, families, we have our TFAP program, which is the Emergency Food Assistance Program, where we help those folks. They can either go to a pantry, also come to any of our Produce Express distributions, which is like a drive-through. And we offer these in the 11 counties we serve. And it's just a drive-through where they pop their trunk. They get 30 to 60 pounds of food. That includes eggs, milk, all the essentials that they need. And speaking of nutrition, we are very, very focused on nutrition for those that are food insecure, because that keeps them healthy. And if they're eating the wrong foods, then we know that there's going to be trouble down the road. There's diabetes, there's all the different forms of obesity that are going on. So we provide that with our Produce Express distributions. The same distributions go on with our military share for our military men and women that are actively serving or who have served, can do a distribution too for the military share. And I'm going to throw out food rescue to my girl Celeste, because as we continue to provide areas where food can be recycled, Celeste has been very, very collective and collaborating. She started in food rescue and now is in advocacy. So I would love for her to share our food rescue program.
Sure. So unfortunately, about 40% of the food that our nation produces for human consumption alone happens to get thrown away. And that happens in many different ways between farm to table. And so our food rescue program looks at where that waste is occurring. And we partner with wonderful donors, retail partners, farms, anyone who might have food to donate that is still high quality, highly nutritious, but is not marketable for one reason or another. And that could be maybe your bell pepper wasn't the right shape. Maybe the can that you were looking at for a thing of canned green beans, maybe it had a small dent on the side. Those types of things are not marketable and thus tend to be thrown away by a company. And so organizations like food banks, including the Second Harvest Food Bank, is really glad that we can jump in and rescue that food so that it can get directly to our neighbors in need. And actually about half of the food that we bring into the food bank comes in as donations through food rescue in one way or another.
So a couple questions. First one going off of that. So then is there like a certain specific type of food that you guys get a lot of through that food rescue program?
Yes. So a lot of the food that we receive is highly perishable through food rescue. So those are things such as the grab and go sandwiches you would get at Country Fair, the grab-and-go meals you would get at Walmart, Giant Eagle, Wegmans, those types of foods that cannot sit on the shelves for a long time. And if they are not sold by the end of the day, they do need to go somewhere. So we will jump in, rescue that food, and get it to a pantry that might be distributing the next day. So that eliminates any long time of holding that food. It is shortening the time that it takes to get the rescued food to our agencies, to our neighbors in need. So we also receive a lot of fresh produce. So we partner with farms and we will do gleaning. We go out and we talk to farmers. We get an idea of what their needs are. Maybe at the end of the season, they typically have a truckload of squash that they know is not going to get harvested. So we will gather volunteers to go and pick that squash and offer it out to our agencies as free, fresh produce.
We also have an app called Meal Connect.
I was just about to mention that. I thought you had an app for that.
Yes, a couple years ago with Feeding America, Celeste was part of that, in incorporating Meal Connect, which is an app. And what happens is that, say Country Fair has all these sandwiches, they'll connect right to the pantry that they know that will come pick that up and get that food out. Because we are a very wasteful nation. And if we can keep this food from going into the landfill, it's come a long way. You know, that has come a long way for us.
I know that's not the focus of our interview here, but is there any way that you can individually just at your own house, like kind of cut down that food waste?
Absolutely. So the first tip I would give is look at the dates and understand that a best by date is not saying that it is expiring. So a lot of the food that's in your pantry that you might think is not safe to eat is truly safe to eat. So educating yourself on those dates first, and then if there's something that you know you're not going to eat, donating that to your food pantry or bringing it directly to the Second Harvest Food Bank is a fabulous way to participate in food rescue at your own home.
So Sam, let me just do another program too. Of course, we take care of our seniors. So we've gone from the littles to the seniors. We have our senior box program, federally funded, and we supply 2,800 boxes per month to our seniors. And we also have collaborated with DoorDash. So if there's seniors that can't get out to get their boxes, they are delivered to them. So that's a great new way to get out and push out the product that we need to for our seniors in need. Because as you well know, they are on a fixed income. A lot of other things get in the way of food. That includes your prescription drugs, your rent, your mortgage. We know, we've seen a 40% increase in inflation. So, I mean, the dollar isn't going far enough anymore. So our seniors do need this program in order to stay nutritiously maintained. So,
And an interesting statistic to add on to that is in 2022, our neighbors happened to see, our neighbors facing hunger specifically, happened to see an almost $25 increase per week just for their grocery bills. And that looks about $99 per month more than what they were paying previously. And that comes at a time when everything's more expensive, not just food. So we are in a critical period where cost of living, cost of groceries is incredibly high, and that is driving need for food assistance up at the same time where we are seeing government legislators working to potentially cause cuts to nutrition programs. So that is something I would also like to discuss at some point.
Yeah, so I mean, we can really dive into it here. So what specifically were you thinking about?
So, of course, our nation's largest piece of legislation to address food insecurity, as well as our agricultural processes in the United States, is the Farm Bill. And that comes down at a federal level, but it does hold the nutrition programs that we as an organization and as a country rely on to reduce food insecurity. So two of those biggest programs are TFAP, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, which you had already mentioned, but also SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. And both of those programs work together to help food banks and communities become stronger and less food insecure.
So what's the holdup on this bill? Is it something that's just political, or is there something else involved with it?
Sure. Everything in lawmaking and politics takes a lot of time, and as we've seen, there's a lot going on at the federal level right now. We are in an election year, which happens to push other priorities back a little bit. So even though the Farm Bill expired last September, we are still working to get a new Farm Bill passed with the help of a couple of extensions that have allowed these programs under the Farm Bill not to run fully out of money. But if the Farm Bill is not passed, if the Farm Bill is not passed with support to nutrition programs, we will be in a critical state where food banks, such as the Second Harvest Food Bank, will have to find a way to meet the demand in a time where costs are high and need is high.
So you mentioned two of the main programs, SNAP. What does SNAP stand for again?
The Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program,
Gotcha.
formerly known as food stamps.
Food stamps. And then TFAP, which is the Temporary Emergency Food Assistance Program. How do people go about applying for those? What do they do for the community? And how could they be in danger with this farm?
Sure.
Some of the concerns over this Farm Bill.
So TFAP is essential for food banks and our ability to get U.S. foods into our food supply. So that directly supports food banks so that we can get that food from farm to food bank to neighbor. SNAP, that is the tool that neighbors can actually use themselves to go to the grocery store and purchase their food. But unfortunately, 50% of all individuals who face food insecurity make a little bit too much money to be eligible for SNAP, which that is a huge gap in the benefits that we have for food banks and for food security. So both of those programs need support in order to improve our situation with rising food insecurity in our communities.
So I'm assuming if people they think that they're in need of some assistance, they're facing that food insecurity, they can just head to your website and there's going to be information there?
Yes, so our website will help you out. You can sign up directly for a food pantry. You don't have to worry about the TFAP word.
Yeah.
You'll just sign up for a food pantry distribution. But for SNAP, we do have a SNAP application assister at our food bank. So she's a full-time SNAP assister. You just call her up. Her name is Bonnie Rierick, and she will help you apply for those benefits if you're feeling a little confused about the process, because that is one of the biggest barriers with SNAP. It is a heavily administrative process. So having somebody on our staff, that is something we're very proud of, to be able to help them apply for these benefits.
So just call and ask for Bonnie.
Right.
All
right. See, that's the thing with if a lot of people, especially during the pandemic, when government offices were closed, there was a huge gap for SNAP. And then having somebody on our staff, because if you are receiving food assistance from the food bank, probably 99% of those people are eligible for SNAP as well. So Bonnie takes that middleman or middle woman out of that equation. So you don't have to go down to a government assistance office to do that. You can talk with Bonnie, and Bonnie will take you through the whole processes efficiently over the phone, and then go from there. And that's such a great help for so many that are food insecure.
So, wrapped up in all of this is, I know we have Hunger Action Awareness Month coming up, correct? September?
Right.
Yes.
September is Hunger Action Month. We call it HAM. And what we do is we continue to educate and make people aware of what is going on in our communities and people that need our assistance. So HAM's important to us. The color orange is the color of assistance and hunger awareness. So, and then we have Hunger Action Day that'll take place on Tuesday, September 10th, and we'll have a lot of activity going on around in each of our communities to make people aware too as well.
So if people want some more news or they want to get involved, they can just head to your website, and there's going to be like a portal there, right?
Everything is there in every aspect. And I'm the volunteer coordinator too. So we're always looking for people to help volunteer at the warehouse, produce express distributions, military shared distributions. We have over 1,200 volunteers at our organization. Let me tell you, Sam, that is the foundation of our organization, is our volunteers. So if anybody wants to give their time or their talent or any of their treasures, they can certainly log on to the website.
Well, Natalie, Celeste, thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you, the viewers. We learned so much about the Second Harvest Food Bank today and all of the issues facing hunger in America. So please make sure to head to their website and get some more information. Till next time, Mill Creek, I'm Sam Peterson. Thank you so much.